tonight on First at 9, this Monday the 21st of October 2024. Shocking revelation. Former MP Uday Gammanpila reveals two unreleased reports on the Easter Sunday attacks. Says two top government officials ignored intelligence reports in 2019. Year of development. President Anura Dissanayake reveals government's development plans. Pledges to resume development of Bandaranaike International Airport and boost tourist arrivals. Promises of support. Sarvajana Balaya leader Dilip Jayavira promises to support government in recovering stolen assets. Samagi Jana Balawegaya Sajith Premadasa vows to amend the IMF agreement in collaboration with the president. Deflation. Sri Lanka's inflation eased in September. Fitch Ratings predicts Sri Lanka's economic recovery, moderating inflation, will drive finance and leasing companies' performances.
ඔබේ විශ්වාසය දෙනු සෙන්සුරයින් දැන් ළඟමැති ෆාමසියෙන් ලබා ගත හැක.
වැඩිම මනාපෙන් ජනතා තේරීම මෙවරත්
සුදේශී ඔරිජිනල් කුහුඹම තමයි.
Crunchy goodness for hunger on the go.
From Derana, this is Derana First at 9. Live from Studio 24 in Colombo.
Good evening and welcome to tonight's edition of Derana First at 9. I'm Tarindu Mahendra, joining you live with the latest in Sri Lanka and from around the world. In your top story this evening, revealing the contents of the Special Committee reports on the Easter Sunday terror attacks, Pivituru Herald reader Uday Gammanpila said the Secretary to the Ministry of Public Security, Ravi Seneviratne, and the Director of the Criminal Intelligence Analysis Bureau, SSP Shania Besekara, should be held accountable for the 2019 Easter Sunday attacks. Gammanpila added that after reviewing the evidence, the committee concluded that criminal charges should be pursued against both officials for neglecting to take appropriate actions to prevent the terror attacks. Meanwhile, Archbishop of Colombo, His Eminence Malcolm Cardinal Ranjit, expressed concerns that the previous government deliberately included officials from the current administration in the reports, a move which he condemned. The two reports in question were commissioned by the previous government. One was led by retired Supreme Court Justice S.I. Imam, who was tasked with examining the allegations made in the Channel 4 documentary, which accused certain Sri Lankan intelligence agencies of being involved in the Easter Sunday attacks. The second report, chaired by retired Judge A.N.J. D. Alves, focused on specific aspects of intelligence operations related to the attacks. Former MP Uday Gammanpila stated on October 14th that both reports were submitted to former President Ranil Wickremesinghe a week before the presidential election, but for unknown reasons they were never made public. Responding to these allegations, Minister Vijitha Herath urged former MP Gammanpila to hand over the reports he claimed to possess within 3 days. Meanwhile, Archbishop of Colombo, His Eminence Malcolm Cardinal Ranjit, expressed his concerns regarding ongoing political discussions. He pointed out that some individuals have recently started speaking about the Easter Sunday attacks with a newfound sense of grief and are attempting to portray themselves as heroes. However, he stressed that the focus should remain on uncovering who was truly behind the attack.
Some have begun speaking about the Easter Sunday attacks with a newfound grief. Questions have arisen about the committee reports on the attack, and some individuals are portraying themselves as heroes. This is not what we expected. We must reveal who was truly behind this attack, and that is what we want to know. Two committees were appointed during the tenure of the previous government. One of the reports carries the same recommendations as the Presidential Commission of Inquiry into the attack. However, they did something rather mischievous. Apart from recommendations, they suggested that action be taken against two high-ranking officials of the current government. We are no longer willing to be deceived. The leader of this country has made us a promise. We hope that the leader will fulfill that promise.
Upon the deadline set by former parliamentarian Uday Gammanpila for President Anura Dissanayake to publish the reports expiring at 10 a.m. this morning, a media briefing was convened. During the briefing, citing the reports, Gammanpila stated that the current Secretary to the Ministry of Public Security, Ravi Seneviratne, and the Director of the Criminal Intelligence Analysis Bureau, SSP Shania Besekara, were negligent in handling intelligence reports regarding the 2019 Easter attacks. At the time of the attacks, Ravi Seneviratne was the Senior Deputy Inspector General General of Police and SSP Shani Abesekara was the director of the Criminal Investigation Department.
පාස්කු ප්‍රහාරය පිළිබඳ විමර්ශන කමිටු වාර්තා ප්‍රසිද්ධ කිරීමට අතිගරු ජනාධිපතිතුමන්ට අපි ලබා දුන්න කාලය අද උදෑසන 10ට අවසන් වුණා.
The deadline we set for the President to publish the reports expired at 10 a.m. today. According to my sources, the President has not yet made the reports public and I am ready to do my duty. The report shared by retired Judge ANJD Alvis was handed over to former President Ranil Wickremesinghe on September 14th, a week before the new President was elected. So why is the incumbent President and his government attempting to conceal this report? The answer lies in the content of the report. On page 40, it states that the Director of the State Intelligence Service informed Senior Deputy Inspector General of Police in charge of the CID through a letter on April 9, 2019 about intelligence received from a foreign nation regarding the plans of Mohammad Zaharan and the Tawheed Jamaat's suicide bombings targeting Catholic churches and several other locations. The STIG at the time was Ravi Senriratne. This letter contained all pertinent information, including the names of the terrorists, their NIC numbers, addresses, places they visited, and individuals they associated with. When the letter arrived on April 9th, STIG Ravi Senratne was abroad and he claimed that he only received it upon his return on April 16th. When the investigation committee inquired, the DIG's staff stated that they were instructed not to open or forward any confidential letters. As a result of this illegal order, the letter remained untouched on the desk. On April 19th, SDIG Senriratne forwarded the letter to DIG Nagahamulla of the CID, instructing him to investigate and report by the 1st of May 2019. However, mysteriously, DIG Nagahamulla did not receive this letter until the day of the massacre. The report also highlights that the prior investigations, such as the religious conflict in Kathandi in 2017, the murder of 2 police officers in Vaunathu, the 2018 incident in Mavanalla where a Buddhist statue was damaged, and the explosives found in Wanathamulla in 2019 were all overseen by STIG Ravi Senratne. Given his deep knowledge of the activities of Zaharan and his capabilities, he could have taken immediate action. If it weren't for this negligence, many lives could have been saved. Page 41 of the report recommends that Ravi Senratne be charged for neglecting to take appropriate action to prevent the terror attack. Additionally, on page 14, it is recommended that the director of the CID, Shani Abesekara, also face charges for the same offences. In this context, the President must immediately remove Ravi Senratne from his position as Secretary to the Ministry of Public Security. We will release the next report on October 28th.
දෙවන වාර්තාව අපි 28 වෙනි සවුන්දා උදෑසන 10ට මෙම ස්ථානයේ හෙළි කරන්න බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා. ඊයේ ජනාධිපතිවරයා අනුහාරි කියන කතාවේ වැඩි චෝදනාවක් කරනවා 2015 බලය ගන්න පාස්කෝ ප්‍රහාරය අල්ලගෙන ගියපු කට්ටිය දැන් මේක ඇහැරිලා යුක්තිය ඉදු කිරීම කඩාකප්පල් කරන්න මේ වෙනත් මතයක් සමාජයේ ගොඩනගන්න උත්සාහ කරනවා. විමර්ශන කමිටු දෙකක් සොයාගත්ත.
Is it disruptive to reveal the findings of 2 committees chaired by former judges, or is it more disruptive to appoint a key figure involved in the case as the Secretary to the Ministry of Public Security?
විමර්ශනයේට සහාය වීමත් කඩාකප්පල් වීමත්.
ඊයේ රාජපති කාර්යාලය විභාගන ප්‍රකාශයක් කරනවා. මේ කියන වාර්තාවක තියෙනවා රජයේ නිලධාරීන් දෙන්නෙක් ගැන අපි පිළිගන්නේ නැහැ. මොකද මේක පැවති ආණ්ඩුවේ තාම තමයි මේක වාර්තාවට එක්ව කියලා. කාදින්තුමා මේක දන්න බව පැහැදිලිනේ.
It is now clear that Cardinal Ranjit is aware of this issue. He only spoke out about it yesterday, which shows a betrayal of the Catholic community by concealing the truth. It is illogical to oppose the reports simply because they do not align with his personal views.
විරුද්ධ වීම අතිශයින්ම අතාර්කිකයි.
විබලාගෙන හිටිය ඇත්තටම මේ දෙයක් මෙතන වෙලා මහමොඩ කටු එළියට එයි කියලා ආවට මදි වගේ.
මේ පාස්කෝ විමර්ශනයේ බාරව සිටින්නේ
Anyone with an understanding can see the depth of this revelation, how a main accused in the case was appointed as the Secretary to the Ministry of Public Security, overseeing investigation into his own case. If he fails to expose this, the Catholic community will once again be deceived.
මේක හෙළි කරේ නැත්තම් තව වතාවක් අපි රැවටුණා කියලා කතෝලික ජනතාවට කියන්න සිද්ධ වෙනවා.
Horizon Campus 2024 Intake 2. Register now.
පිරිපුන් ජීවිතයකට ඔබ සමගින් පෙරට Union Assurance.
Welcome to Cinnamon Life, South Asia's biggest entertainment hub, where awe awaits.
කාගෙත් ප්‍රියතම මෙලිබන් බිස්කට් දැන් 30ක් සීනි අඩුවෙන්. රස දන්න කාටත්
Harisho!
Sadaharita Plantations Limited, celebrating 22 years of your trust.
Now, while former members of parliament and political representatives call for the truth to be revealed, JVP General Secretary Tilvin Silva assured that the government is expediting investigations into the attacks.
We were
waiting impatiently till former parliamentarian Udaya Gammampela released the hidden details behind Easter Sunday attacks. But what were these details he released? We are looking for the mastermind behind the attacks. Who will conduct these investigations if these officials are removed from their positions?
පාස්කු ප්‍රහාරය සම්බන්ධයෙන් පරීක්ෂණ අපි කටයුතු කළා තියෙනවා වැරදිකාරයන් බවට පත් වෙන හැම කෙනාටම විරුද්ධව අපි දඬුවම් දීම නම් අනිවාර්යෙන් කරනවා කාදිනල්තුමා ඊයේ දවසේ කියනවා මේ
Archbishop of Colombo, His Eminence Malcolm Cardinal Ranjit, said yesterday that the former government intentionally included those individuals in the reports. With respect, we are telling him that no one included new names recently. Since the day of the attacks, the investigations have revealed the accused individuals' negligence. We believe that someone close to His Eminence Malcolm Cardinal Ranjit is deceiving him.
වසර 5ක කාලයක් තිස්සේ තවදුරටත් මේකේ විමර්ශන කරන්න තරම් ලොකු කතාවක් නැහැ. ඔය කියන ප්‍රශ්නගත විමර්ශන වාර්තා දෙකත් ඇතුළුව විමර්ශන වාර්තා 5ක් තියෙනවා. ඒ විමර්ශන වාර්තා 5 මේ සිදුවීමට අදාළ වග උත්තරකරුවෝ කවුද? ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ ප්‍රශ්න මොනවද? සාක්ෂි මොනවද කියලා අපි හිතන්නේ පැහැදිලිව තොරතුරු ඇති. ඉතින් ඒව මත පදනම් වෙලා දැන් නීතිමය ක්‍රියාමාර්ග ගත යුතු තියෙනවා.
Sri Lanka decides 2024.
President Anura Dissanayake pledges to resume the Bandaranaike International Airport Development Project, which will see the expansion of the airport's second terminal. The head of state also revealed plans to attract more tourists to Sri Lanka next year. Addressing a National People's Power election rally, President Dissanayake emphasised that the digitalisation of the public service is a priority for the NPP government. A parliamentary election rally of the National People's Power was held in Homagama last evening under the patronage of President Anura Dissanayake.
The flooding in the Colombo district has not been addressed during all these years. This district has many issues that need to be resolved. A team of 21 competent professionals has been assigned to address the issues in Colombo. I am fortunate to be a part of that group.
වාසනාවක් හැටියට මම දකින්නේ.
අපි අලුත් ව්‍යාපෘතියක් ආරම්භ කරනවා Clean Sri Lanka. පිරිසුදු ශ්‍රී ලංකාවක්.
We will initiate a new project named Clean Sri Lanka. A special presidential task force will be appointed to oversee this initiative. We intend to create a fund for this project to which both locals and expatriate Sri Lankans can contribute. This project aims to clean every river, canal and road in the country. With this initiative, we expect to make Sri Lanka the cleanliest country in Asia. In addition, steps will also be taken to attract more tourists to Sri Lanka in 2025, making it the year with the highest number of tourist arrivals. However, the Bandaranaike International Airport Development Project came to a halt. Following discussions with the Japanese ambassador, we resumed the project. Similarly, we will initiate the project to enlarge the second terminal of the Bandaranaike International Airport, which will be concluded within a short period. The public service should be efficient. Taxpayers should be able to settle their taxes from home. The NPP government will prioritise the digitalisation of the country's public service. In order to achieve this goal, we will establish a ministry to ensure the digitalisation of the country. We will ensure that the country's public service becomes efficient within a span of 3 to 4 years. We will never betray your trust in us. Some people said that this government would fail within 3 months, while others said it will only last 6 months. The National People's Power will not stop this journey until we develop the country.
මේ රට හදලා මිසක්ක එතනින් මෙහා නතර කරන තැනක් නැති බව ඔක්කොම තේරුම් ගන්න.
Sarva Jana Balaya leader Dilip Jayavira says his alliance will support the government in recovering stolen state assets as a strong opposition in parliament. Addressing a public meeting in Panadura, Jayavira asserted that the Sarva Jana Balaya is the alliance most suited to assume the role of the opposition. A public meeting of Sarva Jana Balaya aimed at the 2024 general election was held last evening in Panadura.
Anuradha
Disanayaka said if they are to win, it must be by a landslide. However, their victory has not been that decisive. The centre-left is seeking a suitable platform. That platform should be pure, have a vision, prioritize nationalism and maintain a connection with religion and culture. I can confidently say that Sarva Jana Bale is the only such platform in this country.
President Anura Disanayaka is facing economic challenges due to him not possessing a plan despite being elected to office. There used to be a plan. However, it is Ranil Wickremesinghe who possesses that plan and he has not passed it on to the incumbent president. However, we will not act in that manner. Our proposal to the president is this. Our intention is to become the opposition. Therefore, you can build a government. You can implement beneficial programs and we will support them. The president has promised to grant salary increments to public servants every 6 months. We will support that. He also promised to reduce petrol prices to 200 rupees per litre. We will also support him in that. We informed the president that there are no stolen state assets hidden in Uganda and advised him not to mention this at rallies. Even though there aren't any stolen funds in Uganda, we are aware of the assets that were misappropriated from the country. The program to recover those assets, the legal action required in that regard and how to establish commissions for this purpose are all mentioned in our strategic plan. With that, the president can initiate the process of recovering stolen assets. The president's camp, comprising the JVP and the National People's Power, possesses 43% of the votes. Next to them, it is we who have the most support, since there is no reason to make Sajith Premadasa the opposition leader once more. According to Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya, politicians should not attend events at schools. If that is the case, there are no opportunities to donate buses or smart classrooms for schools. As such, if Sajith Premadasa becomes opposition leader, he will have nothing to do. Therefore, the people will decide that the previous opposition leader is no longer required.
Smart classrooms dannat බෑ. එතුමා විපක්ෂ නායක වුණොත් දැන් කරන්න දෙයක්වත් නැහැ. ඒ නිසා ඒ විපක්ෂ නායක අනවශ්‍ය බව ජනතාව තීරණය කරයි.
Samagi Jana Balawega leader Sajith Premadasa vows his party will amend the IMF agreement in favour of Sri Lanka if granted a majority in parliament. Addressing a public meeting in Borella, Premadasa asserted that the SJB is the only political party comprising competent politicians. A public meeting of Samagi Jana Balawega aimed at the 2024 general election was held yesterday in Borella under the patronage of party leader Sajith Premadasa.
Despite the numerous elections we have held so far, our country continues to remain bankrupt. We are a country that cannot repay debt. Our goal should be to take the country out of the bankruptcy. Which political party contesting this year's general election has the best plan to take the country out of bankruptcy? Which party possesses the most competent group? When answering these questions, it becomes evident that Samagi Jana Balawega is the party with the strongest vision and best group to revive the country. The government that comes into power following the parliamentary election must be able to compete with the incumbent president to amend the agreement with the International Monetary Fund in favour of the country while adhering to the IMF's framework. We have the ability to perform this task.
IMF රාමුව තුල ඉඳගෙන රටට වාසි වෙන ආකාරයට ඒක සංශෝධනය කරා. ඒ හැකියාව අපිට තිබෙනවා.
Sri Lanka decides 2024.
Fast track your career from O levels with eSoft.
කාගෙත් ප්‍රියතම මෙලිබන් බිස්කට් දැන් 30ක් සීනි අඩුවෙන්. රස දන්න කාටත්
හරිෂෝ
දරුවන් ගැන ඒ තරම්ම හිතන නිසයි ලංකාවේ අම්මලා විශ්වාසයෙන් මෙලිබන් කිරිම දෙන්නේ.
After O-Levels, start your Australian university degree in just 8 months with ACBT's Foundation Program. Enrollments close on 21st October. Call 071 115 1234 for Colombo or 077 011 3223 for Kandy.
Welcome back. The overall rate of inflation as measured by the National Consumer Price Index decreased to -0.2% in September 2024 in comparison with 1.1% recorded in August. Data from the Statistics Office showed that food inflation decreased to 0.5% in September from 2.3% in August. Year-on-year inflation of the non-food group decreased to minus 0.7% in September from 0.2% in the previous month. A decrease of 0.35% in food items and of 0.13% in non-food items contributed to the month-on-month change. Meanwhile, Fitch Ratings in its latest report stated that Sri Lanka's economic recovery, moderating inflation and lower interest rates are expected to drive the performance of finance and leasing companies for the financial year ending March 2025. The rating agency noted that loan growth will also be supported by the further relaxation of vehicle import restrictions. According to the report, the normalization of inflation and interest rates coupled with a revival in economic activity has boosted credit demand in the finance and leasing sector, particularly in vehicle financing. Lanka IOC announced a profit of 2.5 billion rupees for the September quarter, a 50% decline compared to the same period last year. This represents a profit of 4.74 rupees per share. Total profit in the 6 months from April to September stood at 6.3 billion rupees, representing earnings of 11 rupees and 83 cents per share, down from 14 rupees and 10 cents a year earlier. The company attributed the decrease in profit to the cost of sales outpacing revenue growth. Revenues grew 19% to 73.51 billion rupees in the September quarter, while the cost of sales went up at a faster 27% to 68.61 billion rupees and gross profits fell 37% to 4.9 billion rupees. Lanka IOC received short-term investments of 47.2 billion rupees by September this year, up from 38.9 billion rupees a year before. The Colombo bourse closed in negative territory today due to price losses in capital goods and diversified financial sectors. The SPI closed 0.03% lower at 12,309.33 points, while the S&P SL20 gained 0.05% to end at 3,624.75 points. Market turnover crossed 1.4 billion rupees. Foreign participation remained at subdued levels, with foreigners closing as net sellers, offloading stocks worth 169.4 million rupees. Senior analyst of Capital Alliance, Sahajit Nazar, joins us now with a few thoughts to round off our Markets in View segment for the week.
Last week, the domestic stock market had a mixed performance. The S&P SL20 fell by 48 basis points to 3,623 from 3,641, while the ASPI rose 15 basis points from 12,294 to 12,313. Market turnover declined to 31% to around 7 billion rupees. The government generated 97 billion rupees last week through treasury bill auctions. During the auction, interest rates on 3, 6 and 12-month bills declined 37, 30 and 5 basis points respectively. Internationally, all three major US market indices concluded on 6 weeks of gains.
And with that, we wrap up tonight's edition of First at 9. Thank you for joining and have a good night.